I had some boards from a failed project that I had painted white that seemed like they would be a good fit for this garden toolbox. Once I had removed all the paint from all of the pieces, I could glue them up into larger, more useful blocks. I can trim the edges to make them more manageable. This piece here is actually a, a block that I had glued up from a bunch of pallet boards a while back and never had a chance to use. And I'll resaw these for making the bottom panel and the sides. This block is going to be the two end pieces, but that'll become clear later. And then this is going to be the bottom. With all the panels glued up, I can skip plane them just to make all the pieces even before I cut them to their final size. There were a couple holes in this panel, and I tried very hard to keep them symmetrical, and then I wanted to keep them centered in the final project. And here I am using the two sides as well as the width of the bottom panel to set the width for the two end caps. Here I'm resawing the end caps, and obviously a block this big is too big to resaw just on the table saw, so I raised the blade as high as I could, and that just left a little area in the middle that was actually pretty quick to cut with a handsaw. Part of it was just an excuse to use the handsaw I had recently restored. Here I am cleaning up one edge from both the side pieces and the bottom panel, and then setting a stop block and cutting them all to the same length. It's hard to see, but I put a couple spacers on the table so that the bottom panel will be raised relative to the bottom of the sides. For the end caps, I sketched out the traditional sort of hexagonal shape that I've come to think of for toolboxes. For projects that are meant to look sort of rustic, I always take the opportunity to practice all my hand tool work as much as is practical. So a lot of hand sawing, hand planing, and here I am chopping some mortises by hand. With the mortises cut, I marked the tenons on the piece that I was going to use for the handle. I found it easier to mark out and cut the tenons and then shape the handle so that I didn't have to worry about leaving enough material for the tenons as I was shaping it. I wasn't too worried about the handle being perfectly symmetrical, so I just sketched the whole arc rather than drawing the arc and then copying it to the other side. A spoke shave makes really quick work of cleaning up these exterior curves. Unfortunately, I don't have an internal curved spoke shave at the moment, so I had to file the inside. But it went pretty quickly. And with all the pieces prepared, I can do the final glue up. To reinforce the butt joint between the body and the two end caps, I ended up drilling some holes through the end caps and into the body, and then filling them with dowels and cutting them flush. Once it was dried, a couple coats of shellac and garden toolbox. Thanks for watching.